Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Anelisa, Dulaze and Monwabisi Mbombo. Now if you're new to this channel, I try and do those videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already and I will be doing more in the near future. With that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to the Western Cape Town, but more specifically we're going to Khayelitsha, which is one of the biggest townships in South Africa, situated in the outskirts of Cape Town. Anelisa Dulaze was born on the 31st of January 1995 in Cape Town to mother Vatiswa Dulaze. She stayed with her younger siblings and her mother in Khayelitsha. She went to school at Krizani Arts and Culture Focus School, where she excelled academically. And this is not by chance. Her mother made sure of it. Now, although Khayelitsha is a township full of energy, hustle and a community spirit, but it's also marked with deep inequality. If it's not its rows and rows of brick houses, it's stretches and stretches of informal shacks, and that is where the Dulaze family stayed. Khayelitsha also carries the weight of poverty and crime, and in order for Anelisa's mom to ensure her children were not consumed by the environment, she made sure to keep them off the streets by always keeping them occupied. Anelisa attended extramurals activities every day after school. She did drama and dance, and therefore she always had some sort of rehearsal in her roster. On top of all of that, if there were any camps or trips over the holidays, her mother made sure that she attended those. Thankfully, Anelisa enjoyed all of this. As a result, by the time she completed matric, she was a Rethink Leadership Facilitator and had received many awards for her leadership and participation in the community programs in and around Khayelitsha that uplifted the youth. Once she completed grade 12, she applied and got accepted at Rhodes University in Grahamstown in the Eastern Cape, where she would be studying drama, a continuation of what she already loved in high school. She moved to Grahamstown and started her first year and excelled at it. True to who she was, when she got to Rhodes University, she made sure to immerse herself in the student culture. She joined society and wanted to share her leadership capabilities and expertise, while also excelling in her dance and drama. The first 2 years in varsity flew by quickly. She would come back home to Cape Town as often as she could over the holidays. In December of 2015, she came back after completing her second year studies. She stayed the whole of December, enjoying Christmas and New Year with the family. Now it was January of 2016. The 31st of January was going to be her 21st birthday, and she's looking forward to it. The plan was that she would catch up with old friends from the neighborhood that she had went to high school with, and they would go out for dinner and a few drinks a little bit later on to celebrate her 21st. The day of her birthday came, the girls went out, they had something to eat, and later on in the evening they went out clubbing. They were having a great time, and this is when Anelisa came across a guy she knew from when she was still growing up. This guy was 25-year-old, father of two, Monwabisi Mbombo. The two of them started chatting in the club and somewhat started catching up. At this point in life, Monwabisi was working as a magician. He had managed to build a career around that, to the extent of which he was doing gigs around the world with an organization he worked for and had just recently come back from a show in Vegas. And he was anticipating more trips later on in the year. The next one was going to be to Italy a little bit after June, so in about 6 months' time. So the two of them were chatting away in the club, just sharing experiences, and the conversation was flowing considering both of them were into performing arts. Anelisa was a dancer and also into drama, and he was a performing magician. Anelisa's friend said that the two of them danced together the whole night and had a couple of drinks until it was time to go home, and at which point Monwabisi asked Anelisa to go home with him. She said cool. They both went back to Monwabisi's place. He was also staying in Khayelitsha in a place called Makaza. According to Monwabisi's later confession, the two of them got to the house, they started making out, and after a while Anelisa said that she wanted to leave and go back home, and this is when things went south. Monwabisi said that he didn't want her to leave. He said no because he wasn't done yet. According to him, he then says that they got into an argument about this. Monwabisi then pushed Anelisa. She slammed her head on the wall. She fell on the ground and immediately passed out. Monwabisi then claims that after noticing that she wasn't moving, he then says he decided to go out of the house to look for one of his friends to get help. When he couldn't find said friend, he then decided that, you know what, he'll go to the shebeen and drink. And this is when he found an open shebeen in the area. He bought himself a bottle of Smirnoff vodka, sat down and started drinking it. And once he was done drinking, he then went back home. When he arrived back from the shebeen, he found Anelisa in the exact same spot that he had left her. And this is when he decided to wrap her head with a plastic bag. He then went next door. I'll be able to see from this picture is that behind the shack, the neighbors are building a house. He then decided that, you know what, he's going to go inside the house. He's going to start digging. And he started digging as far deep as he could. The decision was that he was going to put Anelisa inside of that hole, cover it up with sand. And when the neighbors finally decided to complete the house and put foundation and concrete on top of that sand, they were going to cover up Anelisa and everything would be fine. And no one would ever find her again. And that's exactly what he did. He managed to carry Anelisa from his house all the way to the back of the house where the neighbors were building. He then put her in the hole, covered it up, and then continued with the rest of his evening. He went to sleep and he woke up in the morning as if nothing happened. Meantime, the very next morning, Anelisa's mom woke up and started looking for Anelisa. Now, it was not common for her not to come back home, let alone not call. But because it was a big birthday, she had been allowed to go out to celebrate. So the mom started calling her phone. She called, and finally one of her friends picked it up. She had left the phone in the charger in one of the friend's place. So the friend picked it up, was like, no, Anelisa's not here, but she left her phone in the charger. As soon as she comes back, I'll let her know that you called and she can call you back. So the mother was quite relieved to say, okay, no, it's cool. At least she was at a friend's place. Perhaps she slept there and she was just out. Maybe she went to the shop or something. So all was fine. And she went on with her day. But when the morning turned to afternoon and then into the evening, the friends too started getting worried because like, where was she? Why wasn't she coming back? I mean, they knew she had left with Monwabisi the magician, but like, why isn't she coming back? This is where they took the decision to go to Anelisa's mom and let her know, like, listen, Anelisa's still not coming back. We don't know where she is. Last person we saw her with was the magician, Monwabisi. Luckily, Anelisa's mom knew of the magician, so they were able to get his number. And then when they got the number, they called Monwabisi, like, hey, where's Anelisa? Apparently, she left with you from the club last night. Monwabisi was like, no, not me. Yes, I was with her. Yes, I danced with her. Yes, I drank with her. I don't know, it's time to go. Another guy actually left with her, so I don't know where she is. I don't know where she is. And that was it. So panicked, now the mother started looking for Anelisa. However, 3 of the neighbors who stayed around Monwabisi's place were like, when Monwabisi came back last night, he was with a girl. That girl resembled Anelisa. They got into the house, but they never got out again together. That's what 3 neighbors were saying. Unfortunately, no one could prove this because Monwabisi was like, not me with Anelisa. The last time I saw her, we were at the club. I never saw her again. The family then decided to go to the police station to file a missing persons report. They also took out posters and shared it all over social media. Unfortunately, absolutely nothing would come out of that. It was like she had disappeared off the face of the earth. And the first month went by, nothing. The second month went by, still nothing. The family had not stopped looking for her though. Anelisa's mom walked around with a t-shirt of her daughter's face saying missing. They organized marches for awareness, but still nothing. Anytime and any way they had an opportunity to speak and share that Anelisa had been missing now for a couple of months, they would do that. But unfortunately, still nothing. But unbeknown to them, Monwabisi was actually starting to speak. Every time he was drunk, he would share with random people what he had done. So randomly, he would just mention that, you know what, I did this to Anelisa, I did that to Anelisa. Randomly, to random people. And he did that over a couple of months until it got to a point where he said that to the wrong person because that person went to the police station and was like, this guy said this to me. This guy said he took someone's life. So maybe you should look into that. And finally, on the 2nd of May, 2016, almost 5 months after Anelisa had gone missing, the police visited Monwabisi's house, and this is where he confessed to everything that he had done. And for the police to be able to verify all of that, they then went next door, they dug up where he had said that he had laid Anelisa, and they were able to find her. Anelisa's family were alerted, and although they had hoped and wished that they would still find her alive, were quite relieved at least to know what had happened to her.
The whole family was worried, but now the family is not right now just because it's disappointed, just because the whole family is thinking maybe it's still alive. That's why now the whole family is not right now.
We are here as Anelisa's friends, but at the end we found the closure. There's nothing that we can do. Only God knows why this thing had happened.
5 months later, the family finally was able to lay Anelisa to rest in a dignified funeral, which was attended by many people from in and around Khayelitsha and around South Africa at large, because the case had went viral and was also all over the news. When Monwabisi's trial started, he asked for a plea deal where he would plead guilty and offer a full confession in exchange for a lighter sentence. The judge accepted this. He was then sentenced to 15 years in jail for taking the life of Anelisa Dulaze. Now, this was 9 years ago in 2016. So here's what's interesting. So you know what I'm doing these videos? I really do try to dig as deep as I can in terms of research and find as much as I can. And in this case, I was able to actually find his profile on one of the big party planning businesses in Cape Town. His profile was quite recent. I had posted him in May of this year, I think around the 4th of May of this year. So I was like, wait, what? So this guy's not in jail anymore. So when I was doing my maths, I was like, actually, it's very possible with South African law. If you're sentenced to 15 years, you can be out easily within 7 years. And 7 years has passed, right? This is the 9th year. According to my research, he's actually been out for a few years now. So he was probably out on the 7th year. I reached out to the business, obviously, just to confirm that, okay, is this particular magician available for hire? They were like, yes, he is available. He's available. He's working for us. I found that quite concerning, and I'll tell you guys why. He's working for a kid's birthday party company. So what they do is you can hire clowns, magicians, and the likes from this company, and they'll come to your home or your venue, wherever you're hosting a party, and he'll perform. That's quite concerning for me, considering what he has done. Someone else could say, what if it was a mistake? Like, what if really he knocked Anelisa by mistake? My issue with that is that we only have his version of the story. We will never have Anelisa's version of the story, and his version could have been anything he thought out within the 5 months that he wasn't found. 2, the mere fact that he didn't want Anelisa to leave is enough for me to say this guy has many red flags and shouldn't be working really closely around the children. So I found that quite strange and very concerning. So anyway, we're going to end this video by saying he is already out. He's quite young. Also, guys, this guy is going to go on and live a full life. He could do anything for the rest of his life now. He's working, he's free, and he's living his best life. Very concerning, very sad, very disappointing yet again when it comes to South African law. So that's where we're going to end today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.